Alright, hello there, this is Fi. We're checking out Busted Metal. This is a game I have played before. I tried it out just a couple months ago, actually. But pretty curious about this one, and especially to see if there's, how much has changed since then. So that's why I decided to give this one another shot so soon. But we're going to check this out, see if we can give some feedback. I do have the game page open here. It says, welcome to Busted Metal. This game is all about car racing and battling. It is currently in development. Mentions changing screen key bindings. When you're in the air, you can use arrow keys plus drift to rotate your car and do tricks. Please leave a comment if you enjoyed it. And he leaves a reminder about scanning downloads from itch.io with virus detection. Mentions hearing about other games being viruses and stuff. Just giving a nice warning there. I guess that's reasonable advice. I didn't do that with this game, but makes sense. Or run it in a virtual machine, yeah. In any case, let's go ahead and jump into this and see what happens. So at the moment we're in a windowed mode. It probably looks a little blurry. I'm going to see if we can get a full screen out of this. Just note the game seems to run smooth for some people and really janky for others. I'm not sure what exactly is going on yet. Anyways, hopefully it runs smoothly for you and you have fun. Well, we'll find out. We got settings down here. Can I Okay, Alt-Enter does full screen. That's good to see, but we are in borderless window mode. I'm going to go ahead and click on settings. We've got, what do we got here? So this is all new since last time. We've got FPS, quality. You probably want to go a little higher than that. A lot of people have higher refresh rate monitors and everything, so. Accelerate up arrow, reverse down arrow. Now I think this was also mapped to WASD, I don't remember, but I'll find that out soon. Boost is left shift. Drift is left control. It's a little bit awkward. Honk is Z. Z is also a little bit awkward to reach. Space is shoot, and then I guess on the game page it mentioned the weapon. What was that? Let's see. Weapon selection, which is the number keys. Okay. UI shows which number for which weapon. All right, so it's the FPS style weapon switching. In my opinion, that's always been kind of a weakness of the kind of old school FPS controls, at least, is kind of having to reach for the numbers. I mean, obviously, you get used to doing that, and I've played a number of games like that, so it's not like it's alien to do that or anything. But I think having to take your fingers off of the directional input to reach for those keys is always kind of less than ideal. Nevertheless, that's going to be a lot better than what we were doing last time, where I had kind of a lot of trouble with that, particularly with the weapon switching, so that should be an improvement. I'm not sure about the drift being on control. I guess that'll be manageable, but I guess you can't do like boost and drift at the same time, because that would be like my pinky is hitting both of those buttons, right? So I only have one pinky, so I'd have to do something weird to do both. I don't know if you're supposed to be able to do both or not. But something to be aware of. Player name, we got single player, multiplayer settings, exit. So I'd like to see an option for exclusive full screen mode. I tell everyone this, but it's really important. And we'll let you bypass VSync and everything. Also, an option to turn VSync on and off, that'd be important too. And other than that, I guess we're going to go ahead and click on single player. I'm guessing the gamepad doesn't work. I do have that plugged in. I can try that out. Battle mode, free for all. I'm assuming that the race mode is just not here currently, because I don't see anything about that. What happens if I click here? All right, I'm not sure. This looks like it might be functional, but I'm not going to try that. So looks like we're just doing battle mode. It's probably, everything's in a state of flux and development. So I'm imagining that. Why does this say 4? Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, enemies 0 to 50. So this is saying 4 enemies. Score max is 5, I guess. Minutes. So how do I interact with this? Do I type this? Okay, interesting. Because these, it's kind of weird, but this font doesn't look like something you would type in. And I guess maybe this this doesn't really look like a text field, I guess. But that makes sense. Okay, 5 minutes, 5 score, 5 enemies. I think what was that for before? Go ahead and do that, and then click on start. Looks like Windows Firewall pop-up thing here, so I have to like allow access to the firewall. It's weird for that to pop up here. You probably want to. Oh, escape does whatever this is. There's escape there, or exit up here. You probably want to, if you're gonna have that Windows Firewall. What do you call it? There's too much stuff going on. My brain can't think of the words. Holy crap! I don't think this is okay. Okay, P key doesn't work. I really wish there was a pause button. Alright, I'm gonna hit mute on my end. Hopefully it sounds okay to you guys. It's not too loud. Maybe I should turn that down a little or something. I'm actually gonna just do that just in case. Turn that down just a little bit. Alright, so I'm gonna mute it so I can think without all the noise. I definitely like to have a pause button. You know, it's just everything's so distracting. It's hard for me to think a lot of the time while the game is playing, and I need to be able to pause to give a lot of feedback and stuff, so that's going to be a little bit troublesome, but it does look like WSD doesn't work currently. The arrow keys are working. I don't know why I'm sliding to the left at the moment. I guess just some weird physics, and yep, that's unusual. But the other thing is about the confirmation dialog pop-up thing with Windows about the firewall. If you're gonna like if the game is gonna make that pop up for people, I think you'd want to do something so it pops up earlier, like when you're in the main menu or something. That's what I was trying to say. If you can figure out a way to do that. Otherwise, I guess we're gonna try playing this. Is that okay? Did I die earlier? What's with the oh, okay, you respawn. I was gonna say, why was my health at full? Alright, so unpause, or sorry, unmute the audio so I can hear the game again. So the first thing that immediately occurs to me, it still feels very slidey, so I think I noticed this last time. I'm not sure if it was changed since then. Stuff a little jerky here and there. Again, exclusive full screen would probably solve any of that hitching that's going on there with the frame rate. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, still feels very slidey. Yeah, so I think you mentioned... Again, I can't pause the game. I don't know why this pops up like that. You mentioned something about it running poorly for some people and not for others, so... The first thing I would try if I were you, just add an option for exclusive full screen mode. What's going on with the camera? It's like so off-center. I guess it's just when you're reversing it, like... Oh no, wait, I think it's... How do you, Okay, control is the drift, right? And I guess that's... Okay, interesting. So I noticed, like, when you press the down arrow, which is reverse, I would expect the brake lights to come on, you know what I mean? So it's usually what the game is usually interpreted. Like, if you're driving forward, you can't just start driving in reverse until you stop. You come to a stop, so usually games will make that like your brakes, right? By the way, aren't particularly powerful. But then it looks like the camera is like, ooh, camera is struggling to kind of do something useful while I'm reversing. Okay. Alright, in any case, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, real kind of herky-jerky here. So when you're airborne, you're supposed to be able to hold control and use the arrow keys to rotate and stuff, but I think, Yeah, it's working. It's just like, gosh, that's quite loud. My brain is kind of thinking about it in terms of like, I think my experience with Rocket League and the ways you can rotate there. So what happens is like when you're in the air and you hold control and say I press left, it what is it? It yaws left and right instead of rolling, and like maybe that's cool for some things, but like in particular if you like get flipped upside down, like intuitively when my car is upside down and falling towards the ground, my brain is like, okay, just like if I have the ability to do these rotations in midair, then I want to like flip my car back over so I land on the wheels, right? And like in Rocket League you can do that easily, but in this you don't appear to be able to roll because it does a yaw instead, which doesn't do anything to help you flip over when you're upside down. So I feel like I don't know if that's important. Do you just automatically flip over when you land or something? Maybe it doesn't matter if you land upside down, but it just, like I said, it's intuitive. Like I feel like I should be able to do that. In any case, let's try some other stuff. So yeah, it's running pretty janky. I don't know if I finished what I was saying before, but the first thing I would try is just add an exclusive full screen mode and see how much that solves for people, because you know, being able to turn off VSync and you just get a you know, when you give the game exclusive access to the display, then you avoid a lot of weirdness. Although this does look like it's like affecting the physics as well, which is interesting. There's some weird movement going on there with those hitches. It like seemed to affect like the actual movement of the car. That was kind of janky. Yeah, it's feeling quite weird at the moment. In any case, okay, it looks like I have a light blaster and an auto cannon. I don't remember what's the shoot button? Spacebar? Okay, spacebar. Okay, so that aims. I noticed it's a little hard to tell. Okay. So okay, so there's ammo in the bottom left. It's hard to see that because it's all the way in the bottom left. I'm kind of like looking in the middle of the screen. What I was noticing is like I'm just holding the button down, and then it was kind of hard to tell when my weapon stopped shooting to do this like reloading. I guess it just automatically reloads this particular weapon, because the other guy was shooting at me with an autocannon, and I wasn't like getting the appropriate feedback that I was like not still shooting him. That makes sense. So I think you need some secondary feedback, like you can put something in the center of the screen that shows like a little reloading animation or something like that. I think that would help with that. Let's just click back and do this again. Might be nice to have like a retry button or something. So the light blaster is like this, and then that reloads. Does everything just reload indefinitely? Is that the idea? Oh, that's on 4. Okay. So there's a big rocket. I think we used to have a radar, didn't we, in the last version? I'm missing the radar. I feel like that's really necessary for a game like this, because it's just... Not only can you not see behind you, but you have to turn around quite slowly before you can see behind you. So like your general awareness in all directions is quite lacking. So I think that kind of necessitates having something like that. It might also be nice add some kind of camera controls, you know, like move the mouse to turn the camera around, or you know, if you're using a gamepad, you could use the right stick or whatever, just like temporarily look around, that kind of thing. Do we just have infinite boost? And then here's the drift, which... Drift feels okay. I can drive up this. Whee! That's fun. This is kind of silly, but no, I'm not even gonna mention that. Okay, I'll mention it. So I was gonna say something about I've seen before. Some games have like the an option to have the controls the left and right reverse when you're backing up. I was just thinking about that because it's, you know, it's kind of funny the way cars work, and it's one of those things. It's like in FPS games when you set the y-axis inverted or something. Like some people's brains just work differently and stuff like that. So I was thinking about that. Maybe that would be a worthwhile option to add. So what do we have? I still just have the big rocket for some reason. I'm not really trying to play because I'm thinking about so many different things. I was playing with the drifting. Okay, now we've got auto cannon. Whee! What is the horn button? I forgot. Oh wait, why am I up here? Am I supposed to spawn there? That's funny. Okay. Camera's having some trouble too, like going by these objects. Maybe it's just the camera's just kind of janked out in general. Something to do with the drifting motion. It's like the camera doesn't know what to do with itself, I guess. Okay, so you can pitch yourself up and down with the air rolling mechanics. Oh, okay, so something I noticed here. If I'm moving, I think this was the same last time, I probably mentioned it before, but if I'm moving forwards and then I press the down arrow to start braking, it does reverse the left and right controls right away, even though I haven't come to a stop yet. So that's not really correct, right? Because if I want to slow down and turn to the right, that means I have to like press down and then press left instead. Which is very, not just counterintuitive, but actually incorrect. Oh my gosh. Alright, we got 30 seconds left here. So, is there only 3 weapons currently? I've only seen 3 of them. Oh, what's number 3? Stinger missiles. Oh, that's that one, okay. Does that, how does it work? 'Cause I just see it popping out and then I can't really see what it's doing. Alright, so it's homing in. Okay, I can see a little thing showing what it's locking onto on my screen, but I don't see how, like, how can I control what it locks onto? Because, like, I have the little reticle in the middle there, but it seemed like putting that near other players didn't, like, move the lock on, so that's kind of what I expect, right? So I would expect it to lock on to something, like, just in some way, an expression of my intention, right? So if I want to control what that locks onto, I need to have some way to do that. So the only way that I would assume that I can do that, given the current controls and everything, would just be to kind of like point either my screen or this little reticle vaguely towards somebody, and that it would move that lock on to them, but it didn't look like it was doing that, so. Alright, yeah, the controls are hard, and keyboard controls aren't my first choice for car games, indeed. I guess I'm dead already. Thought it'd be nice to have a little bit better feedback on that when you die, but that's just stuff you expect in the future here. Yeah, so I think there's your starter gun and then the 3 other guns that are in currently, or maybe it's just, I don't think there's any other maps in right now. So we've got big rocket, which doesn't home into anything. It's still showing this lock-on effect though, right? Like I don't think that should show up unless I'm actually locking on with something. And I also can't really aim up and down very effectively, so maybe that's just a sort of a balancing element of this particular weapon or something. But gosh, the camera's really having a hard time with that. Yeah, my guess is that the fact that the weapons are kind of like they're on a reload, but you have infinite of them. I'm assuming that's kind of like a for testing purposes, let's say, while the game's in development. You know, because otherwise it wouldn't really make sense to have all the pickups still lying around on the map, you know, if you just kind of carry around all the weapons all the time after you pick all three up. That guy's really trying to get that. How do I get it to... Oh, I'm already dead, so... Yeah, so in any case, let me go back here. So single player, we've got... I can actually do that as well. Okay. Yeah, so things are real herky-jerky. I think the... Yeah, okay, so... The first thing I noticed when I started up the game again is that, you know, just turning left and right normally still feels very slippery. And it's like, you know, just pressing left or right, you just like spin out if you just hold it down. And with this being keyboard controls, it's really not what I would expect to happen. You know, if you're talking about a game that has a driving wheel or something like that, then you can start talking about, okay, it's if you turn the wheel too far, it's realistic that you're just going to spin out or something like that. You know, you can start talking about things like that. But when you have the limitations of, you know, just arrow keys, you really expect to just be able to hold left or hold right to be able to just turn continually. So I think it'd be really important to get that to work. And you know, technically you can manage it just by like tapping. You know, I don't know if maybe that was the mindset. Maybe the developer's thinking that it adds more depth to the controller or whatever. You know, maybe that's valid, but in my opinion, it just make more sense to have the, you know, just make the turning rate be limited by your speed, like most arcade games do. I think that would be more intuitive. And the other thing is just, it is very slidey, so I kind of wish that you know, it just felt like you were connected to the ground with traction and everything when you're turning instead of just in a constant state of drifting. And you know, that would just make it a lot more responsive and everything else. I think that would be a lot more fun to have that sort of responsiveness. I think I could get used to the idea that you can kind of modulate your steering a bit by, you know, tapping left and right rather than just holding it down. Might not be what I would do if I were making the game, but you know, I could probably get used to that, but I don't really think I could really come to terms with how slippery it is all the time. I think that just takes too much out of it, where it makes it feel like you're not very in control. And especially for a game that's supposed to be very kind of arcadey, as this is kind of presenting itself. It's definitely not what I would expect. So yeah, I'd really like to see much more responsive turning, grippier, and you know, not with zero weight, but just make the player feel like they can go where they want to go when they want to. That'll add a lot, I think. Apart from that, it feels like everything is just very, you know, work in progress, and I don't know if there's much else I can give feedback on. You know, I didn't spend a lot of time trying to kill the enemies with the things, but I think, you know, the weapons that are here at the moment are pretty straightforward. We've got this thing kind of aims automatically, and then these things home in, which is something you're gonna want to. Oh, apparently you could just hit yourself with it. That's kind of funny. Oh, it's kind of tricky. Wait, why are they going over there? I guess I'm sliding to the left again. I don't know why it's like that. That's quite weird. Any case, yeah, so Stinger missiles you're probably going to want to be careful about in terms of balance, because of it does seem like the kind of thing where if you get a good lock on and a good angle on someone, you might be able to just like hold the button down and just like insta kill them if all the things hit, you know. I'm not sure, like I haven't played one of these car battling games since I was a kid, you know, back when they actually made these games. And so yeah, I'm not sure if they're ever like extremely well balanced or not, because it definitely seems like a kind of thing where it's hard to really make it you know, really polished like that, where everything always feels fair all the time, I guess I should say. And there's probably a lot of situations where you just kind of get like, okay, somebody got behind you in just the right position and they have the big scary weapon, and there's not anything you can do about it, you're just kind of screwed, right? That probably happened a lot. I would think. I'd have to go back and like actually play those games. It's been so many years. But you know, not saying you should just say screw it and whatever, make people deal with it, but I can understand if that's a challenging thing to accomplish. In any case, yeah, so in my opinion, I would just focus on the handling, honestly, like before you do anything else, and you know, it affects all of the game balance and everything. It's like your core interaction with the game, you know, is just moving around, and at that point, you know, the way the weapons work and everything, and all the balance surrounding everything else just kind of pivots around that, right? So that's what I would say. And then from there, you know, just getting everything working well, whatever the physics and the weapons and everything, and balance and stuff would come after that. But I think, you know, once you get those foundations, this is probably something that'll come together quite readily. I would assume it's just sort of a fundamental or inherently fun concept, I would say. So yeah. It's an easy thing to be excited about, I think. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.